Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. G, what's going on, man? Glad to have you in the building.
What it do?
Got some interesting things to talk about. Brian Kelly took the podium yesterday. Didn't get to see any practice. Just got to get some updates from the man himself, the head honcho. He gave us a couple of good key pieces of information. One of the first ones, Michael Van Buren limited in practice due to a jammed finger on his throwing hand. We were at practice on Monday. Everybody saw him taking the reps behind Picarella, and it wasn't a huge worry. I even said on the practice recap, I'm sure he's still the backup quarterback. I doubt this is indicative of any big change. And obviously, Coach Kelly clears it up. No damage. MRI came back fine. Just trying to take it slow. Just trying to do the load management, if you will. Whit Weeks, similar position, recovered from that dislocated ankle. Trying to make sure he's back at 100%. There's times where he's off to the side, kind of favoring the ankle. You just don't want to push it too hard. Y'all are practicing 5-6 days in a row. There's no point in risking one of your best linebackers getting banged up. Harold Perkins was back out there as well. Did not miss Monday's practice due to an injury. So it's good news. Tigers fans, I mean, look, you made it out scot-free, quite frankly, in fall camp. A lot of other teams, season-ending injuries, torn ACLs. I think LSU really got lucky in this instance. Yeah, you had to scare with Garrett Nussmeier, but gee, all in all, I mean, you pretty healthy going into this Clemson game. You just got a couple of key question marks, and unfortunately, the biggest one continues to grow and grow and grow in terms of the offensive line. We'll get to that in a little bit. He made mention to the depth. We've been talking about that as well. He said this is one of his deepest teams in 4 years. He talked about the wide receiver room. You got vertical threats. You got complete guys. That you got your Des Green, bro, 6'7", going to catch a ball over damn near anybody's head. And then obviously defensive line, edge, linebacker, cornerback, safety. He was saying the past few years, bro, we were trying to just find 11 people to throw out there on the field. Gee, we didn't have competitive depth. We didn't have people breathing down somebody's neck, making them like, okay, I'm held accountable here. I gotta make sure that I'm going hard. I'm not leaving anything out there at this point. Now, I feel like everybody's getting better because of it. Talk a little bit about the depth. Talk a little bit about the offensive line and the state of it, because now we're hearing right tackles up for grabs, left guards up for grabs. Yeah, you got your left tackle in terms of Tyree Adams. Your center is Braylon Moore. He said Josh Thompson's going to play guard. Probably right guard, but like I said, left guard still up for grabs. Right tackle still up for grabs. What do you think about that?
It just goes back to what we were talking about on the D line and in the secondary. A lot of competitive depth in that O line room with Weston Davis and Kern going at it. I think Weston Davis probably will get the nod, but even if he doesn't, I don't think that this means that Weston Davis is not ready for SEC play or he's not developing the way that he should. I just think that it's a situation where you might be looking at something similar to what happened with Emory Jones or Will Campbell. Am I saying that
Mm-hmm.
Kern is going to be as good as Emory Jones or Will Campbell? I'm not saying. I'm just saying that he's physically ready. He's mentally ready to play big time SEC football. And I think that the coaching staff loves the fact that he's pushing Weston Davis. I think this is going to get the best out of Weston Davis. And I think this is going to
Exactly.
make Weston Davis be your best version of himself because he's not just being handed the position. What I
Mm-hmm.
was really happy about is to see Tyree Adams have the faith and the confidence from the coaching staff in him. Tyree is somebody I've been paying attention to since he arrived at LSU. He got his body together. You can tell that he's very, very locked in into being a starting left tackle and want to prove not only to the fans and the coaching staff, but to himself that he is good enough to play that position and come back and protect Nussmeier's blind side and not try to be Will Campbell, but be himself. So I was glad to hear that DJ Chester is the name that kind of was sounding like he's the odd man out.
It does.
He didn't really bring his name up when he was talking about, who the projected starter is going to be. And I think one of the I don't know if it was I can't remember what reporter asked him about DJ Chester, and then he kind of brought him back into the mix and said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, DJ Chester's in the mix too, but kind of sound like he's an afterthought."
Yeah,
So
look, we got the clip right here. It was Wilson Alexander. I'm going to pop the clip up real quick for you, man.
Center,
yeah,
guard. He's playing a little bit of right tackle. He's competing for a starting position as well. But we can't put them all out there. So somebody's going to have to be in a rotational position. whether it's Paul or Cohen or DJ, Weston or Carius. Those are the guys that are all going to eventually play. I don't think you're just going to see 5 guys trotting out there every single play. I think you're going to see some other guys definitely getting in the game as well. I'm playing center, guard.
And I feel like that. All right, so like you were saying,
like
DJ
that.
Chester, he's going to still have to compete. He's not going to get handed like you were talking about Weston Davis, and then Carius Kern's going to be breathing down the neck a little bit. Now, here's what I want to ask you about the rotation standpoint, because you're less than 2 weeks out, bro, and I'm going to get your thoughts on this. I feel like if you only got 3 starters nailed down, let's see, we're 10 days out at this point. If you want to be really, really specific, 10 days away, a week and 3. It feels like you're a little bit behind as a top 10 team. A little bit behind, and it's an important position. It's not like you're talking about someone on the back end of the defense. It's not like you're talking about, bro, you're talking about guarding or, protecting one of the best quarterbacks in college football and Garrett Nussmeier. We keep talking about this passing game. We keep talking about this wide receiver depth. Do you think that this directly affects it if those front 5 keep shuffling around, or if they don't know, okay, these are my guys. This is the guy I'm working with on the right, on the left, yada, yada, yada. Do you think that's a hindering point for LSU?
Not at all. I'm gonna take a different stance from what you're saying. They're replacing 4 of the 5 starters from last year. DJ Chester is the only one that started on his O-line. So they got to try to figure this thing out. And I like the fact that he's going to have about 8 guys that could play on his O-line this upcoming season. And I think it might be on a week-to-week basis, bro. Weston Davis might be a better run blocker than Carius Kern. And that particular week, they know they could probably have some success in the run game. So we're going to start Weston Davis at the right tackle this week. The next week, they might be playing against South Carolina, where they know they got to go against Dylan Stewart, and they know Dylan Stewart moves around, and he might not be on Nuss's blind side. They might put him on the other side, right? Well, Carius Kern might be a better pass blocker than Weston Davis. So now Carius Kern starts at the right tackle. I mean, it's just going to depend on who they going against every week, and it depends on who's practicing the best, who's grading out the best out of every game. And I think that's really good when you talk about the SEC. You got to have 8 guys on that O-line that you could put in there and not lose a beat. So I wouldn't have any concern about this O-line going into week 1. Now, having said all of that, am I saying this O-line is going to be elite? I'm not saying that, but I think they're going to be good.
Okay. I want to ask you this as well in terms of the rotating offensive line, because in 2022, through 6 weeks, you saw 6 different combinations, right? How long do you think, or if LSU finds the right 5-man front for this offense, do they continue to rotate all season long? If it's work, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deal, or do they get to a point where by South Carolina or by some of these later midseason SEC games, now you got your rotation, now you got your guys, you're not going to go out there and throw the 6 out? Do you think that having 8 all season is a smart way to go? Because I mean, I'm not saying I never heard of it, but it's uncommon, which is not always a bad thing. But being non-traditional sometimes raises some eyebrows, and mine are kind of furried right now.
I think you could see them mix and matching for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, just trying to see who's the best lineup, who's the best. When you talk about run blocking, you talk about pass blocking, when you talk about all these different elements that go into offensive game plan, depending on what type of front you're facing each week, it's just going to depend. It's just going to depend who's gelling the best. And again, the good thing about it, let's just say Mabinga doesn't start. He had experience from last year. Let's just say DJ Chester doesn't start. He had experience from last year. Let's say if Carius Kern beats out Weston Davis, right? Weston Davis didn't get any experience last year, but he's been getting a lot of reps throughout fall camp, and he played a lot in the bowl game against Baylor, and he had 15 practices. So you're going to have guys that's had some type of experience, even if they're coming off the bench. So I think that's a good problem to have, in my opinion. I wouldn't look at this as a negative.
Okay. Because at first it made me worry a little bit. I guess it's just because it's Clemson game. I'm feeling like the pressure is going to be created inside, outside. I feel like all over the place. Clemson's got hitters, and maybe that's why I'm a little nervous, because you don't get 1 week to kind of slow roll this and test run it. You jump in water, G. Like we want jumping in water.
And this is something people got to remember about Clemson going into week 1, right? They got a new DC, and Tom Allen.
Yep.
Came from Penn State, used to be the head coach at Indiana. I'm very familiar with him because he recruited Jalen Lucas from down here in the Tri-Parish at Terrebonne / Endicott High School. So, this guy did a really good job at Penn State. But guess what? Clemson gave up. They was like one of the worst teams in not giving up explosive plays last season. And that's why they brought Tom Allen in. So
The
he had to
run
come in
defense
and
was rough.
yeah, he had to come in this spring, right, and go back to the basics and really try to rejuvenate this defense. Yeah, they got some good players and they got some draft picks on that defense, but they got to get back to the fundamentals. And we don't know how they gonna look week one. We really don't know. Yeah, you got the talent, but this is gonna be the first year in their scheme. So we're gonna see how that's gonna look. And I think LSU O line, bro, they got the talent. It's just about them getting that cohesiveness and gelling together. And I think that's what Brian Kelly and I'm trying to do. That's why you keep hearing 6, 7, 8 different names that could possibly be starting be in that starting five. And like you say, they might rotate a guy in here and there, or they might mix and match. That's just what that's going to be. Probably the first 3 weeks, maybe the first 4 weeks of the season.
So to your point, LSU's got some question marks, but some guys at O-line, Clemson's kind of got the same thing going on, but defensively. They got the pieces. They just got to figure out how to use them.
Yeah, Clemson don't have a personnel problem. They have a schematic problem.
Understand.
So that's going to be the difference, right? I think LSU, they don't have a schematic problem. I wouldn't even say they have a personnel problem. They're just trying to figure out who's going to gel best together. I think that's what they're trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? So we all know, man, when you coming in it as a first year DC or a first year OC, and you coming into a week one game against a top tier opponent, that's gonna have some adversity, bro. That's gonna have some bumps in the road. So I don't expect Clemson to come out that week one against LSU and just be hitting on all cylinders. I don't see it happening. This is gonna be the first time they're going against somebody other than themselves, right? Tom Allen, he just got there in the spring, bro. So I would anticipate that. Yeah, you're gonna see some talented guys on that side of the ball. We know what they got coming back. We know that, but they gonna need some time to get used to that new scheme.
I could see it. I can believe it. So LSU's defense, in my regard, or in my opinion, now this might sound insane because we just were talking about how you can get the push, the run game can go crazy. Floby's in the chat talking about Caden Durham can break off for 130. Now, all that sounds good. Gee, I feel like the big, not X factor, but the big piece for LSU that could really win the game and shut all this noise down is the defense. If LSU's defense goes out there, puts Clemson to work, don't let them score 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. Don't make Nussmeier have to continuously create. I think they can make it out. I think LSU's defense is really, it got this game in the palm of their hands if they really, really, really want to flex some muscle. And I think they keep doing
it. Just going off of what's been going, just going off of what I've been seeing throughout fall camp, the defense, it's a little bit ahead of the offense.
I agree.
That's just what that is. The offense has won. The offense has won some days, but the defense has won more than the offense has won. So people could take that for what they want. You could think that, man, LSU offense and Joe Sloan and Nussmeier, they don't seem like they elevating and going in the right direction. Or you could look at it and say, shit, LSU got a top 5 defense in the country, and that's why the offense is probably having some bad days. It just depending on how you look at it. I'm gonna look optimistic. I'm gonna look at the glass half full and say LSU got a top 5 defense. And I think that's gonna make their offense even better going into week one, going against the Floridas, the A&Ms, the South Carolinas of the world, right? That's gonna have them battle tested going against that defense every day. So, that's just my stance on it. Again, it's really gonna come down to how they get this offensive line to jail. Though. That's really my only question mark about this whole team. Just getting that. I know they got talent, but just because you got talent doesn't mean you necessarily gel together, right? And that's Brad Davis and Kelly and Joe Sloan. That's their job right now. That's their job right now to get the best 5 that gel the best together, right? If they can do that, they'll be all right because they're gonna have to run the ball this year, bro. They're gonna have to run the ball, bro. We've been talking about it since last year. Caden Durham and Josh Williams, 4 yards of carry last year was very misleading, bro. Because when they got into short yardage situations, it was hard for them to get that 3rd and 2. It was hard for them when they're on the goal line and scope. It was hard. It was tough. It was something that you never seen at a school like LSU, bro. They always been able to get them short yardage plays converted in the past. And last year you just didn't see it. So if they can do that, I think that offense could go to higher heights, bro, especially with how talent that the receiver room is.
I agree. Going back to your point about the defense, iron sharpening iron and all. A couple times I had to walk away from practice and taper my expectations or just taper my takeaways because of that. Like, man, offensive line look rough, but hey, it could be because you got some steppers on that D line. You got some dogs. Everybody been wanting pressure and depth and all these big names coming in on that defensive side to be able to flex some muscle. You got it now, and then this is going to be the direct effects of that going forward.
Saturday, the defense made the offense look terrible in the stadium.
I ain't getting no part in that one. I ain't getting no part in viewing that. We get the Saturday scrimmage this week. But Saturday, you saying it was rough? It was rough.
Saturday, it was rough for the offense, bro. It was rough. They couldn't score in the red zone. One-on-ones, the DBs were strapping. It was a rough day for the offense, bro.
Man, and the red zone periods have kind of been scaring me a little bit because I've been seeing buku push from your Bernard Goodens, your Gabe Relaford, shout out 19, Jack Pyburns. Like these guys, bro, they reckless, running through your face, getting active, creating that pressure. K Club, watch out, man. Watch out.
I like what I'm saying from the defense. The way Weeks and Bauer Sharp got into a tussle. Like, yeah, I like all that. I like
that aggression, man. We ain't friends out here. We on the battlefield.
I like all that.
I agree. Flo be in the chat, man. You must be peeking on the show, bro. You must be peeking on the notes, dog. He's talking about Auburn. He's trying to help smooth the segue over. G talking about Auburn claiming big natties. They got 7 natties yesterday. Yada, yada, yada. I saw them claim 4. I don't know the specifics. All I saw is they claimed 1910, 1914, 1958, and 2004. G, I'm going to real quick give you a breakdown of who, in my opinion, was ahead of them those years. 1910, Pitt was 9-0. Auburn was 6-1. I'm sorry. Vote. Do what you got to do. It's 1910, bro. We're talking about 100 plus years ago. Y'all can figure that one out. 1914, Army was 9-0. Auburn was 8-1. At least you got a little bit closer still. I could see where it went in their favor. 1958, G. Yeah, the 1958 with Billy Cannon and all these boys from LSU going 11-0. We really trying to claim that? Like, come on, man. We're going to have to fight for that one. That's one of our first Heisman ever. 1 of 3. 2004, speaking of Heisman, USC went 13-0, won it all with Reggie Bush during the Heisman year, but it's unrecognized because of improper benefits. Gee, they gave him the Heisman back. They should give him the Natty back. I don't understand as a program why you would do this. I feel like you become, quite frankly, the laughingstock of the SEC when you do this. I'm not going to lie. I could be a hater. You could call it what it wants. It feels like me celebrating a CFB Natty, G. Like if I hopped on my road to glory, won a Natty, I got a trophy right here, a ring, doing all this. It feels like the Georgia Tech stuff, celebrating the bowl game appearance. Like, bro, this is desperate. Here's a stat for you. I always love the next gen stats. No 10-win season in 8 years, but you get 4 Natties in 1 summer. They already changed the damn Twitter bio, dog. 9-time champs in the Twitter bio. One more thing. This is why the college football playoff is so important. There's no more what ifs. No more. You get an opportunity, you fight, you move on, you advance. If you're last man standing in the end, congratulations, you're the national champion. We're not going to vote. There's no more human error. It's just results, dog. This Auburn stuff is insane. Sound off, please, because I'm on a soapbox.
The proverbial hand clap. Auburn.
Bro.
Man, what are y'all doing?
Selling.
Bro, if this was Vanderbilt University, Mississippi State, I could kind of understand it a little better because whatever you need to do at those programs to try to make yourself seem relevant, you're going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, y'all have been one of the top programs in the SEC for the last 20 years. Let's be honest, right? There's no need for y'all to do this. Saban is gone from Alabama. You don't need to reach this far to try to go claim 4 more national championships to make your program seem like they a blue blood school. You didn't have to do this, bro. If we gonna do this, Central Florida, 2017. Let's give them the national championship. 2010, TCU. Let's get them a national championship. Boise State went undefeated in 09 and 06. Let's get them the national championship. 2004 with Urban Meyer at Utah. Let's get them a national championship. 99 with Randy Moss and Chad Pennington. Let's get them a national championship. Tulane.
You get a natty. You get a natty.
You get a natty. Tulane, with Tommy Bowden and Sean King. Jawan Dawson from the Tribe Parish went to my alma mater, H.L. Bourgeois. Get them a national championship.
Yeah.
Everybody get a national championship. What are we talking about right now? Whoever signed off on this, whether it was the president of the university, the chancellor, the AD, the chief of staff, all of y'all need to get rolled up for this. All of y'all need to be fined. The NCAA needs to step in. Donald Trump, you ridiculous.
The National Guard, call somebody, bro.
Y'all going to get national championship way from 1913 to 1914. What are we talking about, bro? You know what? I need to make a meme for Teron Reed because he be repped out about Auburn. This is the best. This would be a great time to crack a joke about what's going on with his alma mater right now. I know he over there coaching the DBs at USC, but this is ridiculous. Goddamn, and they having a hell of a week, huh? They about to retire Cam Newton jersey.
Facts. And he was on campus. He was on campus talking to the players. I mean, Auburn, what's going on? Hugh Freeze, you have to be embarrassed. I know the SC coaches are in a group chat tearing your ass up. I know they are. Bro, half of the natties that y'all tried to claim yesterday, Auburn, were before World War I, dog. Before World War I.
This is ridiculous. This is a joke. Yeah.
What are we doing, bro?
And look, for the people that's watching that might not understand why they think they can go do something like this, before the BCS started, the way they crowned national championship, it was by different services, whether it was the AP poll or USA Today or ESPN or whoever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever had the most services crowning you as the national champion, that's who was the national champion. So I think in their mind, like, okay, just because USA Today say y'all the national champions, don't mean y'all really the national champions. We was undefeated too. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a national championship. You know what's so crazy? I was thinking about this. Like, you know how the 2019 team and the 03 team from LSU, when they won from winning the national championship, they recognize them at a game at halftime or before the game, bro. So I don't think nobody from 1913, 1914 will be able to come through.
No,
get recognized at a game for Auburn.
No,
like, it was that long ago, bro. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
111 years.
This is insane. This should be the laughing stock of Twitter right now.
I ain't never seen anything like this. I ain't gonna lie. Hopefully it don't happen again. I ain't gonna lie. Give us a national championship, dog. Matter of fact, we're talking about services and voting against or for natties, bro. Verdin verdict poll, G-Sportz poll denied Auburn. They not our national champions. So now you're gonna have to go reevaluate that decision. NCAA. The poll spoke.
And then one of them years, I think it was 1958. LSU won a national championship.
That's what I'm saying. With Billy Cannon, they were 11-0. Bro.
Like, bro, what are y'all doing?
They were 11-0, and Blake Ruffino tweeted something that I found interesting, dog. Like, they were playing Kentucky, and LSU beat Kentucky. I think it was like 30-something-0, while Auburn barely beat Kentucky, like 8-0. They were having harder times against teams that were getting cleared by LSU. And
I ain't gonna lie,
running back.
I ain't gonna lie. Now, this was before my great grandmother was born. I think this was in 1913 or 1914. They didn't allow a single point the whole season.
Auburn?
Yeah. They didn't allow a single point scored on them that whole season.
Now that's crazy.
That's impressive. But again, you wasn't crowned national champion.
Yeah, it was all for nothing, bro.
And in 04, that was the year USC won it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Reggie Bush as Heisman. Only reason it ain't recognized is because of improper benefit. But I mean, bro, they gave him the Heisman back, give him the natty back.
Yeah, bro, like, y'all, just stop it.
Switch gears real quick before you hop out of here. Saints quarterback battle. It's still going on. Kellen Moore don't have a decision, or at least he's not telling the media that he has a decision. Could be behind closed doors. Production wise, I'm gonna be honest, real similar. I added all the notes up, watched the game film. Rattler had one more completion, 30-ish more yards. Both have one touchdown, one interception. Both have now gotten to start a preseason game. Here's my takeaways. They both have decent arms, right? You're in the NFL. You're going to have to be able to let one loose from the pocket. We saw Tyler hit Tipton week 1 for the big touchdown. He had a nice play on 1st and 20 versus Welch, one of those new tight ends, where he got a nice 30-plus yard connection. Rattler hit Tipton a few times Sunday as well. Here are my drawbacks. I don't want to be negative, but I got to. Spencer Rattler, I don't like. Let's just dial it back to the Tipton play where he got the defensive pass interference and the Saints move into the red zone. Nothing happens. 3 and out. 3 points go up. Saints keep using Blake Grupe. It's probably what's going to happen all season long if they put Rattler out there. The Chargers game, they punt. They go 3 and out on the offense. Punt the ball. Chargers fumble it. Saints recover. You're in the red zone. And then now they go 4 and out. They don't get any points to represent that as well. Rattler went 0-7 last year. No games over 250 yards. Don't got to keep bagging the dead horse. However, all I'm going to say is this is a telltale sign of what you got. That's what you got with Spencer Rattler. He's mobile. Sure, but I mean, during the Chargers game, against the starters, he's getting hawked down. He's getting hit in the pocket. He fumbles the football. It's like, yeah, you got mobility, but it's not game-breaking speed where he's going to screw defenses all over the place. Like it's a better than Tyler Shaw, but it's not much better. I'm gonna say this, my last thing before I pop it up to you. If you're in a quarterback battle as a veteran of multiple years in the NFL and a rookie comes in and makes you sweat down till the end, down to the wire, it's in his hands. I think that the fact that Rattler hasn't gone out and won this job already by this point, he needs one more big game versus the Broncos when Sean Payton comes back down to NOLA. I don't got confidence in him. Worst case scenario, Spencer comes out in the beginning, week 1, maybe week 2 as the guy. Shaw's ending the year as the starter. Tyler Shaw. That's my
This Spencer Rattler's 3rd year.
That's what I think. Let me go double check that before I speak out of turn, but that would be my opinion.
I believe it's his 3rd year.
Let's go hit it up right here. Spencer Rattler is currently in. Yep. Well, actually, this is going to be the 2nd season because 2024 was his 1st season.
Oh, so this is 2nd year. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'd have thought 3 too. He got drafted 2024 round 5 pick 150. So last year was the 1st year.
So I've said this from the beginning. You know, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of my friends, and they keep going back and forth about Rattler should start. Then some saying Tyler Shough should start, and is a whole big old thing after every preseason game and every time these little reports come out through our training camp. And I've been saying this, and I've been consistent with saying this from the beginning. Spencer Rattler does not have a shot to win his job unless he was just strictly undeniable. It cannot be close. He would have to go out there and really separate himself tremendously from Tyler Shaugh for Kellen Moore to give him this job, bro. You're not gonna draft Tyler Shaugh in the 2nd round and have him as QB2. It ain't gonna happen. Spencer Rattler is Dennis Allen's guy. That's not Kellen Moore's guy. Kellen Moore's gonna go with who he drafted in the 2nd round. That's who he's in. That's who he's invested in. That's who he wants his future to revolve around. He's not gonna revolve it around Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler should be the starting quarterback, though. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's more ready. I think he has that year of experience from last year when he went through those trials and tribulations and those bumps in the road. That's going to help him through this season. But also, if I was coming into an organization and I knew that this was my guy that I drafted in the 2nd round, I'm probably going to go with my guy. So I would be very, very shocked and very, very surprised if Kellen Moore names Spencer Rattler the starting quarterback for week 1.
I would be. I like what you said about the experience. I mean, yeah, that's a plus. But the experience, bro, he has not won a game. He played 7. He has won.
Yeah, I mean,
0.
he was throwing up practice squad players last year, bro.
And the O-line, I give him that pass.
And the O-line, it was. I'm not gonna hold that against Spencer Rattler. I seen enough from him last year and in this preseason to believe that he could be a good starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's earned to be the starting quarterback on his Saints team. That's how I truly feel. But I know how this business goes. They're going to draft. They're going to put Tyler Shaugh as a starting quarterback week 1, bro. If that doesn't happen, I will be super, super shocked. It's just like the situation with the Indianapolis Colts, right? I can't remember the head coach name for the Colts now. Frank Wright, if I'm not mistaken, he the one drafted Anthony Richardson, right?
I believe.
And Frank Wright, right? What happens? He named Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback. What? Why are people so surprised? That's who he went signed in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't draft Anthony Richardson, so he's going to start his guy. And then look, it was close. It was close between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. So he went with his guy. That's how the NFL works, bro. They're not going to go with somebody that they didn't necessarily draft or hand pick to be the guy running a franchise. It just ain't. It's not going to happen. Somebody from up top, like Mickey Loomis or the owner or something to that nature, would have to come down and tell Kellen Moore, look, I know you want Tyler Shark as a starting quarterback. I'm superseding everything you talking about, and I want Spencer Rattler the starting quarterback week 1. That would have to happen. This would have to be like a Dallas Cowboys situation. How Jerry Jones tries to dictate everything that happens. It would have to be something like that. And I just don't see Mickey Loomis doing that. I think he's gonna allow Kellen Moore to pick his guy, and I think it's gonna be Tyler Shark.
Do you think that they know already and they're just keeping it close
Yeah,
to
he
the
knows.
vest?
Oh, he been knowing, bro. He been knowing, bro. He been knowing, bro. But you got to understand how this goes. I'm not gonna make Spencer Rattler feel like he didn't get a fair shot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because if Tyler Shook goes and piss downs his leg, and I gotta revert back to Spencer Rattler, I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose him mentally. I don't
Right.
want him to feel like I never believed in him from the start. So I gotta play that game and make him think that, yeah, you got a shot. Yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, I think you can run my system the way I want you to run it. But in the back of my mind, I know me and Doug Nussmeyer, who's the offensive coordinator, we in the back in our meetings talking about, we know this Tyler Shock's job, right? We gonna make Spencer feel like we believe in him and he has a shot to win his job. But we know he would have to go out here and just be super undeniable for him to win it. And I knew that wouldn't go happen. Spencer Rattler is not that far along in his development for him to go out there and just kill it like that. For them to say, "Oh, damn, we gotta put Spencer as our starting quarterback." I mean, he knocked out of the park. He not even close, not even on the same stratosphere as Tyler Shaw. It went just how I thought it was going to go. I knew it was going to be a close race. So, with that being said, be ready to see Tyler Shaw as your starting quarterback week 1.
It'd be an interesting reaction. I don't know if the Saints fans are gonna like that. I want to ask you this question too about Mason Tipton, number 15, one of the new guys.
From Yale.
Hey, bro, he a dog. And I want to know this. Does that make the Saints' job a little easier in terms of, do they extend Chris Olave? Like, let's say Chris Olave. I feel like Chris is a great option. 1,000 yards every single time he's healthy the whole year, when, it's been rare recently. But the price of the wide receivers are going up to the point where the Saints are going to be kind of handcuffed. They're always strapped for cash. So, I mean, it's not new, but like, bro, Chris is going to be worth 25, 30 million a year, at least. So do you think if Tipton, you don't think?
No.
All right. I was thinking that he was going to get
Justin Jefferson getting 30 a year, bro.
I thought Chris Olave going to get at least 20.
Yeah, he'll get 20. He ain't going to get 30.
I was saying 25 to 30. All right, my bad.
30,
20 to
bro.
30.
No,
all right,
bro.
20 to 25, whatever. Either way, my point
He going to be in the same range as like a T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins in like 24 a year, 23, something like that.
My question for you is, if Tipton comes out with some nice production this year, do they kind of like, we good off Olave?
I don't think Tipton is a number one. I don't even know if he's a number 2 receiver in the NFL.
Ouch.
I could possibly see him being like a slot number 3 receiver and being really, really productive. But I don't look at him and say to myself, this is a guy that could be one of your focal points to your offense. I just don't. I don't view him in that manner. As of today, he could possibly change my mind. And we still got to see him do it under them lights, bro. We got to see him when the game really means something. Can he still deliver in the way that he has? And I just think the receiver room with the Saints, they have too many guys that's similar. Chris Olave, Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, and Tipton, all of them is like 6 foot and under, right? They don't have no length. They don't have any length, no real size in that receiver room besides Bud Means. And I don't think Bud Means is a number 1 or number 2 guy either. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Kellen Moore gonna scheme these guys open. And especially when they get in the red zone area and short yardage on 3rd and 6 and 37, you need guys to come down with those contested catches and 50-50 balls. Because we know at the tight end position, that's not a real high point, highlighted position, in my opinion. when you talk about Jawan Johnson, Taysom Hill gonna be out for a while. Foster Moreau, those guys, I don't look at those guys as somebody you could say 3rd and 7. I feel good about throwing this ball to Jawan Johnson or Foster Moreau, and they're gonna come down with a contested catch or 50-50 ball. I just don't look at them in that light. So I just think it's gonna be a long season for the Saints. I hope I'm wrong when I say it. I'm gonna keep saying it.
I want to ask you to rank Chris Olave real quick before you hop out.
As far as
Total wide receivers in the NFL.
I'll give him
He's
top.
healthy.
I'll give him top 12, top 15, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Top 15, top 12, something like that.
So that would put him in the $25 to $28 million range, because your top 15 are all making over 24.
So
he'd be in the same breath as like a Nico Collins, a DJ Moore, a Michael Pittman. Would you think that that's a good spot?
That's his tier. DJ Moore, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman and DJ Moore getting 24 a year?
Michael Pittman getting 23.3, DJ Moore getting 27.5.
DJ Moore getting 27.5,
brother.
How much T. Higgins getting paid?
T. Higgins, 28.7. Garrett Wilson, 32.5. That's a big one. Yeah. The top 10 wideouts are all making 30. But that's I can see that. I don't got anybody in this top 10 unless I'd pluck out of there.
Yeah.
I like Olave though. I like him. I think he's a good guy.
Listen. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I like Chris Olave. I think he's a really good player. He's a great route runner. Got sure hands. But I don't look at him as a number 1 guy. I think he's a great number 2 receiver though.
I wonder what they're gonna do, because I feel like this is the summer you got to make. Like after the season, you're gonna have to make some shape. I think they might have one more option on him for like $15 million, but his salary is gonna jump because this year he's getting paid 1.5.
Yeah, and look, he's gonna have to show that he's durable too. He dealt with a lot of concussions his first few years in the league, so that's gonna be something to keep monitoring going forward, bro. I hope he can stay healthy.
That could be probably the biggest hindering factor for him right there is that health. They want to make sure he's good. No more wear and tear, Chris. Got a big season ahead of you. We're going to wrap out of here. Friday when we're live, G, it'll be the day before the start of college football. We're going to have games to break down, picks to make. We here. It's no
Nickel
more.
State, man. They play Incoordinated Word on ESPN too.
Hey, bro. No more talking season. It's over. It's here. Real deal. In the water. Going hard. College football. We back. Come on. I'm excited. I don't know. Who's your early pick? Let's see. What game you watching this week? That's your one? Nickel State, your week 0 matchup. That's your
I'm probably gonna be in the building.
Okay.
DJ Juice on the 1s and 2s. Yeah. I want to see what they're working with.
Man, I need to see the schedule of week 0 before I even make any single comment. Let's see. Saturday. It's August 23rd this week, right?
Yep.
Iowa State and Kansas State, 17-22. That ain't bad. They in Dublin, bro. What the hell? What the hell?
Watch that.
For sure. We'll be back Friday at 1 p.m. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up. Go follow my guy G on Twitter at G_sports. Linked in the description. Click show more. Go find the link. Go follow. Go Colonels. Try Paris stand up. Come on. You know the deal.
Good day.
Y'all have a good one. Appreciate your time, G.
All right.